So in this presentation we're going to look at squares and square roots, and let's just get straight into it. All the definitions and notation you need are there. A square number will be an original number times by itself. So to square a number, well, you're multiplying that number by itself. The square root of a number is a number which, when squared, gives you that original number. It's probably easier for me to explain this through some examples in a moment. Now, this symbols here. 4, and then you've got that arrow x. Now that's mathematical notation for 4 is smaller than x, or it's equivalent to x is bigger than 4. 5, and then that symbol, that arrow pointing at the x, is mathematical notation for 5 is bigger than x, or x is smaller than 5. Now, I think the best way to think about that arrow is as a crocodile. Think about a statement where we've got that symbol and we've got a 5 there and a 2 there. Now that is a true statement. 5 is bigger than 2, or 2 is less than 5. And how do I know that? Well, think of it as a crocodile. The crocodile is always going to go for the bigger number. That's how we know which way round that goes. Okay then, so let's get on with some examples. We've got to square each of these numbers. So squaring means timesing it by itself. So 1 squared is 1 times 1, which is of course 1. 5 squared means 5 times itself, so 5 times 5, which is 25. 7 squared means 7 times itself, which is 49. And 14 squared means 14 times itself, which is 196. So that's squaring a number. So the opposite of squaring is square rooting. And I'm thinking to myself, when I'm square rooting something, what is it that times by itself to make a certain number? So what times by itself to make 25? Of course, 5. What times by itself to make 49? 7. What times by itself to make 196? As we've previously seen, 14. And what times by itself to make 1? Of course, 1. So that's the way your mind needs to work when dealing with square roots. Okay, so make sure you can use your calculator correctly, and you can find the squaring button and the square rooting button. 54 squared is 2,916. Make sure that you can get that on your calculator. And 961 square rooted is 31. Again, make sure you can find that button on your calculator and check you're getting the same results. Now, a practical application for this might be something where we consider area, because of course the area of a square is the side times by the other side, and if it's the same like in a square, we're going to be squaring. So, if the area is 225, what was the original length of each side? We need to square root 225 to find that out, and if we do that, we get the answer 15. So each side length was 15 centimeters. 15 times 15 gave us the 225 for that area. Now, also, as well as square numbers, we can have decimals here. Now, if we consider the square root of 5 and try doing that on your calculator, you're going to get 2.23606797749. Okay, now if you want to round that to 2 decimal places, well, that means you need to have 2 numbers after the decimal place. So 2.2, and then we need to think, is it going to be 2.23 or 2.24? And that all comes down to that 6. That's a bigger number than 5, so we're going to round this up. The correct answer is 2.24 to 2 decimal places. Okay, that's all the information you need to attempt the activity below. Good luck.